Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, Europe has just 2 months to tackle the migration crisis, or the whole border-free premise behind Schengen could collapse. That's the stark warning from the European Council President, Donald Tusk, frustrated by Europe's relentless failure to act. Despite the freezing temperatures, the number of people trying to make it into the continent has not diminished, as our international editor Lindsay Hilsum now reports.
If it's cold now, how much worse will it be in a few days' time? Temperatures on the border between Macedonia and Serbia are expected to drop to -20. The going is already treacherously icy. Soon there will be deep snow. It's hardest on the children. Aid agencies say they've already seen cases of suspected frostbite and hypothermia. Yet 1,000 people a day are crossing the Serbian border, most heading for Germany. Voluntary organisations provide some sustenance along the way, but European governments are threatening to close their borders. Today, Central European ministers rejected the EU strategy for all countries, including them, to accept a quota of refugees. In the European Parliament, they said that would mean an end to Schengen, border-free travel within the EU.
We have no more than 2 months to get things under control. The March European Council will be the last moment to see if our strategy works. If it doesn't, we will face grave consequences such as the collapse of Schengen.
In Norway, they're deporting Syrian refugees back over the border to Russia from where they entered. The months of welcome are over.
Why Russia? Please, why Russia? I need an answer about this. Why Russia?
Yet boats are still sailing across the Aegean to Greece. Médecins Sans Frontières and Greenpeace have rescued 2 this month. Many of the passengers were Afghans, amongst them children. Yesterday, Turkey announced that refugees would now be allowed work permits. Maybe that will stop some from attempting this perilous journey, which is getting more perilous as the weather worsens.
Well, the tide of migration and with it unemployment and fear of terrorism has fueled the rise of the far right in Europe, like the National Front in France, where 600,000 more people are out of work than when President Hollande took power. Provence has long been a party stronghold and has a National Front MP in the shape of its latest rising star, Marechal-Le Pen. Our Foreign Affairs correspondent Jonathan Rugman went there to meet her.
Viewed from the hills of Provence, you could be fooled into thinking that Carpentras hasn't changed much in centuries. In the weekly market, the sausage is still stuffed with goat's cheese. The cathedral dates back to the 1400s, and the town preaches the secular values of a revolution held sacred for over 200 years. Yet this rural corner offers no refuge from what's seen as a crisis of national identity. In fact, it's close to the front line. So much so that the local MP is the heiress of France's most notorious political dynasty. Marion Marechal-Le Pen, now 26 and the youngest French MP elected since the revolution. She says it would be cynical to celebrate after such an awful year, the worst terrorist attacks, the biggest migration, France's highest unemployment in 18 years. But her party's alchemy transforms these failures into success.
Ce qui est vrai, c'est que l'aggravation des phénomènes, évidemment, ouvre les yeux des Français. Pendant très longtemps, la France et les Français ont été un pays qui était préservé, où les gens vivaient correctement. Aujourd'hui, la crise du chômage est considérable, continue de s'aggraver. Le terrorisme est présent durablement et rien n'est fait réellement pour l'endiguer en France. Et c'est vrai que la crise d'immigration s'accélère et en France, nous avons d'énormes problèmes d'assimilation, qui est un concept très français. C'est-à-dire qu'aujourd'hui, nous fabriquons des ennemis de l'intérieur, nous avons des quartiers entiers qui sont abandonnés par la République. Et c'est vrai que les Français aujourd'hui se rendent compte de l'ampleur du désastre. Donc évidemment, ça nous crédibilise. Je ne peux pas vous dire le contraire.
Last month, the National Front polled over 6 million votes in the first round of regional elections, its biggest ever outright win, under Marine-Le Pen, Marion's aunt. But in the second round, the party founded by Marion's pugnacious grandfather, Jean-Marie, was pushed into third place. Tactical voting by socialists and conservatives, deliberately scuppering its election hopes. Jean-Marie, now 87, remains a liability. Last year, his own daughter expelled him from the party for repeatedly claiming that the gas chambers of the Holocaust were a mere detail of history. In Carpentras and across France, the ogre of the National Front's past now battles for supremacy with a more sanitized image, forward-looking and feminine.
Alors moi j'étais en désaccord de fond avec Jean-Marie Le Pen. Je lui ai dit d'ailleurs, je m'en suis jamais caché à de très nombreuses reprises, parce que je considère qu'on ne peut pas dire de cette partie de l'histoire que c'est un détail. Jean-Marie Le Pen considérait qu'il pouvait dire ce qu'il voulait quand il le voulait et que ça n'engageait que lui. Et Marine Le Pen considérait que chaque fois que Jean-Marie Le Pen prenait la parole, ça engageait évidemment le Front National. Donc voilà, moi j'ai essayé, si vous voulez, étant donné mes relations personnelles avec les uns et les autres, de ne pas charger la mule ou aggraver la situation.
Et votre relation avec lui maintenant, c'est...
Après, je n'ai pas de mauvaise relation avec Jean-Marie Le Pen, je le vois encore régulièrement.
Some might be turning in their graves at that. This is the Jewish cemetery in Carpentras, bleak and desolate. Its desecration by far-right extremists over 25 years ago caused almost as much uproar back then as the attacks in Paris did last year. Though Marion still won't hear of her grandfather being described as a racist, and she's not about to disown the man who featured the 3-year-old toddler in this, her first political campaign.
Je pense que mon grand-père n'est pas un homme de droite conservatrice, je pense que c'est un anarchiste de droite. Mais non mais vraiment. Et je pense qu'en fait, il ne supporte pas qu'on lui dise ce qu'il doit dire ou pas dire. Et donc il provoque, il fait de la provocation, parce qu'il est comme ça. Il est anticonformiste. Et c'est vrai que c'est pas toujours joyeux. Voilà.
Et ce n'est pas antisémitique à votre avis?
Non, je pense que c'est de la provocation. Je pense qu'il y a des tabous en France, légitimes d'ailleurs parfois, et que en fait, étant un peu anarchiste de droite, il aime briser les tabous et faire de la provocation.
The local MP would rather look ahead, though maybe her party's demons are merely in hiding. Marion failed to carry her own region in last month's elections, and the modernising still has some way to go. Perhaps tactical voting will always deny the National Front ultimate power here. But I wouldn't bet on that, because here in France it sets the political agenda like never before. And in the shape of Marion Marechal-Le Pen, a party often just regarded as racist and extremist is looking increasingly mainstream. In her office, a liberal magazine warning that Marine Le Pen could become president is displayed as a badge of pride. Their battle to dislodge François Hollande, now 15 months away.
Je pense que ça va être très compliqué, mais je pense que c'est envisageable. François Hollande a fait des déclarations qui paraissaient totalement impossibles il y a encore quelques mois seulement, sur la déchéance de nationalité, sur le contrôle des frontières, sur l'immigration. Et donc, tous ces discours nous donnent raison.
I put it to her that if she would only tell her grandfather to keep quiet, the National Front might stand a chance. I'm not going to do that, she said. And so her party continues its long journey from the shadows, from playing on France's fears to the much harder task of giving it hope. Jonathan Rugman, Channel 4 News, Carpentras.